Before we get into the episode, I am thrilled to announce that the EntreMD Business School is open for enrollment. The EntreMD Business School is the only school of its kind for physicians who want to build 6, 7, and multiple 7-figure businesses. Over the last 2 years, we have had hundreds of doctors go through the school with unbelievable results. Some of them run brands, some of them run private practices, some of them are coaches, some have other kinds of service-based businesses or product-based businesses. And we've had people come in and cross the 6-figure milestone, cross the 7-figure milestone, cross the multiple 7-figure milestone. You will be in a place where you'll get the coaching, the community, the accountability that you need to thrive as an entrepreneur, especially in the times that we're in. So maybe you've been following me for a while. Maybe you've been getting so much out of the EntreMD podcast and you've been wondering, how can I work with Dr. Una and the community more? Well, this is your chance. Come join us in the EntreMD Business School. It is application only. So go to entremd.com/business to turn in your application. I cannot tell you how many doctors have made statements like this. I recovered my investment in the first week. I recovered my investment in my bank account in the first 90 days. This is the best investment I've made in myself ever. I want you to have that kind of story, not just a story of building a great business that serves a lot and earns a lot, but having a business that gives you the freedom to live life on your terms. So don't wait any longer. entremd.com/business. And now for the episode. Hi, docs. Welcome to the EntreMD podcast, where it's all about helping amazing physicians just like you embrace entrepreneurship so you can have the freedom to live life and practice medicine on your terms. I'm your host, Dr. Una. Well, hello, my friend. Welcome back to another episode of the EntreMD podcast. Thank you so much for listening, for sharing, for subscribing, for being a part of the Calvary. Now, today, you are going to be listening to part of a training I did during EntreMD Live 2023 when I taught about the 7 mindsets of the ultra successful. So you're going to listen to the first few on this episode, and on the next episode, you'll listen to the rest of them. These are some subtle changes that you can make, and this is the best time to make them. And these mindset shifts will change the way you show up. They will change the actions you take. They will change the way you feel about your business. And there is really the foundation for all the great things you want to see in your business. So take a listen, and I'll see you on the other side. Hello, everybody. Okay. I am so excited. I've been waiting for this moment. Look at Dr. Beckford. Yes. Yeah, Dr. Beckford, this is what, your 4th one? Love it. Okay. So let me know in the chat. You guys know I love some good engagement. Okay. Let me know in the chat, like, I am ready. Show your emojis. Like, I am ready for this. This is like, we have sat down and put together what we believe is the most transformational version of EntreMD Live, right? We are leaving everything out there, everything. Okay. So I'm ready. I'm glad you're ready. We're going to co-create magic. That's what we're going to do today. And today we're really going to be looking at that 7-figure mindset. We're going to get into that. And the goal is, after this session, you're going to walk away knowing this is what I need to do to create quantum leaps in my business. And if you've been in the EntreMD world for more than 2 seconds, we're about building your dream business and building your dream life. So yes, this is a business conference, but you are going to walk away with what you need for your business and your life. Okay. So I just want to set the stage so we show up going like, we're going to crush it. Okay. Now, if this is your very first EntreMD Live, let me know in the chat. I'd like to, I see Dr. Bhattacharya. This is my 4th. Yes. So if this is your first, let me know in the chat. I want to shout you out. Okay. I want to shout you out. This is the first time. Dr. Joyce says, this is my first time. Dr. Choma, Dr. Dewey, this is my 3rd. I'm a veteran. Dr. Candice, my 1st. Dr. Stokes, hi. This is my very first. Dr. Miller, Dr. Jimmy, Dr. Margaret, Dr. Toll is my 3rd. Dr. Jennifer is the first one already. Okay. You are in for an absolute treat. We have a PGY2 here. I wish I had your life. I wish I learned these things when I was a PGY too. I got to get older before I did that. I am so happy for you. Dr. Joan is like, this is my first. Yes. Love it. Okay. So this is the deal. We don't do fluff here. This is not a fluffy conference. This is not where we tell you the why and then we don't show you the how and all of those things. The reason why I'm saying that is because this is our pre-event. Tomorrow we're going to have the 7-figure social media brand. And then Saturday, oh my goodness. Saturday is like a bolus. We're doctors. We get it, right? It's like a whole bolus. And so I want you to make sure that you cleared all the dates, because when the team and I get together to put this on, we're going to show up like we're delivering a $10,000 event. And so you don't get to pay $10,000, but I want you to come with that attitude too. I am attending this event that I paid 10 grand for, and I'm going to get everything I came to get out of it. Okay. That's what we're going to be doing today. So that's the attitude I want you to approach this with. Okay. So welcome to our 5th EntreMD Live. 5 years. Done with it. Okay. So I want to introduce myself, and I want you to pay attention to this because this is about you. This is not about me. I'm telling you this because I want us to have a picture of the transformation that we can experience. So if we haven't met before, I'm Dr. Una. I'm a pediatrician by training, founder of EntreMD. And EntreMD is a business, but really it's a mission, right? And our mission is to help doctors build profitable businesses so they can live life and they can practice medicine on their terms. Yes, we live in a time where, yes, a lot of doctors are stuck. We live in a time where we're called one-trick ponies. And of course, we can't thrive as entrepreneurs, all of which are lies. But we're also in this space where maybe you're here. So maybe you're here and you run, like you work your job and you want to build out your personal brand. You can build that out. And you can build that out as your business, and it can give you the freedom to live life and practice medicine on your terms. Doctors are doing it. You may be here, you have a private practice, and you're really at this place where you're frustrated. You hear other people talking about closing their practices every day. You're like, I don't think we can do this. I think this is dead. It is not dead. There are doctors who are doing it, and they're using it to create freedom for themselves, right? They're practicing medicine on their terms. They're living life on their terms. You may be here, you have a non-clinical business, and you're like, I didn't get a business education. I can't figure this out. This is so hard. I can't build a team. Throw it all away. And I'm telling you, you can thrive. The mission of EntreMD is to help you, equip you, show you exactly how to do that. Our goal has been to help 100,000 doctors do that. And that's the reason why we're like, share, we put on a free party. Let the doctors in your world know. And by the way, we have 44 states represented here. So if doctors in like Idaho and Wyoming and North Dakota, tell them I'm waiting for them. Okay. Because I want to hit all 50 states. So if you have friends, tell them, be the record breaker here. Okay. So that's my mission. That's the mission of EntreMD, right? And I have used my life as a lab. And so my very first business was my private practice. And in a time when they're like, you cannot survive as a private practice owner, we built a practice. This is our 14th year, built it to a 7-figure practice. And I was like, I want to help doctors. This is what I want to do. And I freed myself to chase down my passion of helping doctors, right? And so I built EntreMD. We built a podcast, a book, all of that. And for the last 4 years, we have served hundreds and hundreds of doctors at close range, and through our podcast, thousands and thousands, right? And it's all about supporting you, helping you build profitable businesses. And people are like, well, if you build your practice, you'll be stuck to it. I on purpose went on an 18-month sabbatical from my practice. The practice grew in the midst of it because, again, my practice is my lab. I call it the private practice lab. And it's my lab to experiment, to say, okay, these are things that are possible. And so the life that I have created is a life where I practice on my terms. I live life on my terms. I want to homeschool my kids. That's what I do with the older two, the younger two. I'm like, I want to drive them to school. That's what I do. I'm like, I want to have the freedom to live out my full potential. That's what I'm doing here because I want to serve doctors. And I'm like, I'm going to create the freedom so I can do that. And I'm here to tell you today, you can have your dream life. Yes, healthcare looks the way healthcare looks. But like Winston Churchill said, we do not waste a good crisis. Okay. So this crisis is not against us. It is for us. It is forcing us to evolve. It is forcing us to become MD 2.0. And so I want us to attend this event with that attitude of everything is about to change. right? I don't want us to be cynical. I don't want us to be stuck. I don't want us to decide, well, this is not going to work for me. Like, whatever, let's hear what Dr. Una has to say. I want you to approach with that curiosity and with that openness that everything is about to change. And so if that's you and you're choosing, yep, that's the way I'm going to show up, I want you to type that in the chat. Everything is about to change. Everything is about to change. Be curious. Everything's about to change, right? So let's see that go up in the chat. Love it. My future is about to change. Everything's about to change, right? We're not accepting the status quo. We're not saying that we're stuck. We're not saying we've arrived. There's more, and we're going to experience all of it. Everything is about to change. That's an intention we can set. Okay. All right. So I like Rita's like, everything's about to change July 1st. Dr. Rita is starting tonight. The change is starting tonight. That's what we're going to do here. Okay. So Makita, if you can post the link for the workbook in case some people didn't get it, entremd.com/workbook, right? If you didn't get that. But let's look at mindsets. Now, we all know that to thrive as physicians, there are mindsets we have. For instance, we have this mindset that hard work is a requirement, right? No physician is going in like confused, like this will be walk in the park. Like you're like, we work hard. That's what we do as physicians. We understand that the investment precedes the transformation. That's why we have six-figure loans, multiple six-figure loans before we become doctors. We understand that. We have that mindset of delayed gratification. Like I'm going to work hard for a while and I'm going to see the result on the other side, right? They're mindsets that we have, right? As physicians. But I have spent time studying the ultra successful, right? I have been in rooms with some of the most phenomenal entrepreneurs. Are like, yeah, our business is at a stage where we're doing an easy million a month. I'm like, easy million a month? Explain, right? Or whether I built this business, I'm the sole owner and we had the valuation done, it's 500 million. I'm like, how sway? That's good. And I've been a student and I'm like, how do they think? The ultra successful entrepreneurs, how do they think? And I identified 7 things. So we're going to look at those 7 things today. Okay. And as you think about them, I want you to audit the way you think. And remember, the way we think is like Play-Doh. We can change it, right? It's not fixed. It's not, I've always thought that way. Great. We can start thinking a new way. No biggie, right? And so I want you to audit, compare that with how you think at this moment as an entrepreneur. And in case anybody here is, I'm not an entrepreneur, in the EntreMD world, where like all physicians are entrepreneurs, we all have at least one business, which is our personal brand as physicians. So if you're an employed physician here, I'm happy you're here. I want you to think about your brand as your business. So don't exclude yourself from this conversation. You're in this conversation. Okay. All right. So let's look at the 7 things. Who's ready? I don't know. Maybe you guys are tired. Who's ready? Who's ready for the 7 things? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's do it. Number 1. The ultra successful have a beginner's mindset. They have a beginner's mindset. And what that means is, even though they're very accomplished, even though as entrepreneurs, they've done so many things, they're still learning. They're still curious. They still know that the things they don't know are much more than the things that they do know, right? They're still humble. And if you don't have this mindset, the problem is that you are going to get to a point and you must plateau. Must, right? Because now there are many people in here who I know who are actively building businesses, right? The doctors in the EntreMD Business School. And what ends up happening is when you build your business when you solve the problems and take your business to the next level, what happens is that you create new problems. Those new problems will require that you get down from your high horse of whatever accomplishment you have, and you start learning new things, right? And when you accomplish that, guess what happens? New problems. So anywhere where you decide I'm all that, I've arrived, nobody can tell me nothing, the second you get there, that's your cap. You're done, right? So let me bring this to physicians. You're a physician, you trained for over a decade, right? Now you're a surgeon. It's so amazing. You're at the top of your game. And then you decide, I'm going to start a private practice. but not with a beginner's mindset. And you walk in, I know everything. I have great bedside manner. This is going to be amazing. Marketing, I'm not going to learn that. Building a team, I'm not going to learn that because I'm all that and they're going to come to me. You're going to have a very rude shock because what is required at that stage is you're like, I have accomplished this. This is amazing, but I need to layer on a completely new skill set. I have to learn to be an entrepreneur. I have to learn to build a team. I have to learn to market my practice. I have to learn. So coming in with that beginner's mindset puts you in a position where you can learn this whole new skill set and layer it on top of it, right? Now you get to the top of your game. You're doing the practice, it's working, right? You're bringing in the revenue, you're creating time and all of that. And you're going to get to a stage where maybe you want to open a second location, or maybe you want to work part-time or whatever. It's going to require a whole new level of skill, right? A whole different level. And so if you don't constantly approach your life and your business with a beginner's mindset, someone who is humble, somebody who is coachable, someone who can learn, somebody who is curious, you will plateau. The opportunity cost of that is you will never be ultra successful because a beginner's mindset is required. Okay. If we're tracking, let me know in the chat. If you're getting it, you're like, okay. So every time you hear somebody say, oh, I got that. Oh, I don't need to learn that. Oh, that's a sign that we're about to run into some problems, right? The ultra successful coach. I'll give you examples. I have a friend. Okay. This is somebody who is building a multi-million-dollar business. She does contracts from the government for 9 figures. Okay. And you will hear her listening to somebody who is talking about how they made their first million. And she's paying attention and she's taking notes and she's asking questions. And the first time I was confused, I'm like, what is she doing? Like she can run circles around that person from today till next week. But it's that attitude of what can I learn from this person? What is something new they're doing that I didn't do in my time that I can add to this? What strategy is she using that might work in my industry? Curious. Okay, so the beginner's mindset. So as physicians, right? As physicians, we have a quote unquote potential disadvantage because we're so accomplished. And so we're like, I paid my dues. I did my decade. I am not learning another thing. Right? Like I'm done. Nobody can tell me anything. And it may not start off as pride. It's just like, yeah, we've worked that long. But if you're going to continue to soar, you need to have a beginner's mindset. Okay. So who is saying I'm going to adopt that? I'm going to adopt that. Yes. And I see this all the time, like doctors again, you're going to hear me talk about the business school a lot because I don't want to tell you about random example. I don't want to tell you about Jeff Bezos. What does that matter to you, right? I want to tell you about real life physicians doing real life things. And they will hear me say this a lot. I am so proud of you for being so coachable because having that mindset is everything. Okay. All right. So that's number 1. We're doing good so far. It's number 1. All right. Number 2 is that they dream and they build relationships with their dreams. Okay. How many of you have had this experience where you tried something and it didn't work? Maybe as an entrepreneur, you hired somebody and it was a bad hire, or you put yourself out there and you did this launch and you got 2 clients when you wanted 22, right? Or you went to do that talk and the talk bombed, and then you decided to put your dreams away. You're like, let's just deal with reality. I mean, like all these things, I'm a physician. I don't need to do that. My business is paying the bills. Let's just do that. These big dreams, I need to toss it to the side. Who will be honest enough to say that they've had that experience? Right? Let me know in the chat. Who will be honest enough to say that? Because the thing about entrepreneurship, what do entrepreneurs do? They solve problems. So what will show up in your business? Problems. And if the problems make you throw away your dream, then there's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to go, right? And so one of the things that the ultra successful do, yes, they have challenges, but they hold on to their dreams. They go through the challenges, but they keep the vision in front of them, right? So, and I want you to think of it this way, because sometimes we can get fooled by the pictures on Instagram of people sipping margaritas on the beach, telling you about how they work 2 hours twice a week and they're bringing in multi seven figures, and that's the way business is working. But the truth of the matter is, a lot of times you see a lot of the wins on the outside, but as they were going through it, sometimes it was just standing and weathering storms. Standing and going through the challenges and all of that, but keeping the like whatever, I'm not losing the picture. I'm deciding to go after it. And for you, that may look like I've kind of been coasting this business. I've always wanted to do a 7-figure business, but I shouldn't take all that. But it turns out it takes all that. And maybe I'll just leave it alone. You tried some things, it didn't work, and you left the dream. You're like, I want to take more time off. Let me bring on a team. You brought on a team. It was such a headache. Or you're like, I don't understand why they can't read my mind and just do what I want them to do. I actually have to train them. Don't want to, right? But it's going through all that and holding the dream and deciding, I'm going to get this done. Now, that does require that you do a few things. That could look like I have a vision board I look at every day. That could look like I've recorded back from the future thing of we did it, right? These are the goals we had. We accomplished it. It may look like inserting yourself in rooms where people are chasing vision and they're honest with their challenges. So you're like, okay, apparently this is the way entrepreneurship works. But these are people who are the ultra successful. They have relationships with their dream. It's not something they interact with on December 31st. This is something that's always in front of them on the good days, on the bad days, on the hard days. They're holding on to that goal and they're like, we're going to accomplish that. Do you guys see what I'm saying? So they have a relationship with their dreams. Not just one time, they build a relationship with that. Okay? Do we get that? Are we doing? You guys got that? So pick up your dreams. Maybe you toss them. And it's not bad. I mean, this is entrepreneurship, but pick it up again. There's some big thing you wanted to do in your business, you threw it away. Pick it up again. Dream, pick it up again, right? For instance, if you've heard me, I've been talking about helping 100,000 doctors for the last 4 years, right? Have I helped 100,000? I don't know. I'm working on it, but I will have the documented evidence of it. Oh, you'll see, right? It's not going anywhere. The hard days, the easy days, the difficult days, the what do you think you're doing days, all of that. I have a relationship with my goal. I have a relationship with my vision. Okay. So you've had a dream team you've thought about, build a relationship with it. You've had a thought of, man, I'm going to work this business and I'm going to work for 3 days and the other 2 days I'm going to spend time with my family and all that. Build a relationship with that vision. You have a number. There's nothing wrong with numbers. Welcome to EntreMD. We want to serve and earn. Okay. We lead with service, but we're not fooled. We earn. We do not create parasitic relationships where only one side is winning. We create symbiotic relationships. I'm winning. My clients are winning. Everybody's winning. Yay. Okay. So it may be a number. You're like, I want to build a 7-figure. Like, what would that be like? I want to do that. Right? Hold on to your dream. Build relationships with your dream. That's what the ultra successful do. Okay. So that's number 2. That's number 2. Okay. Especially, and this is not primarily for the good days. This is for the bad days. This is for the days when there are challenges. This is for the day when you get that 1-star review and you want to throw your whole practice away, right? You're like, I can't take it anymore. I suck. Why do you suck? I got a 1-star review, but the person was mad because you say you have to pay a copay. What are you going to do? Right? Okay. So that's number 2. Number 3, the ultra successful have this mindset of living in discomfort. They live in it. They understand that the place of discomfort is where the magic happens. The place of discomfort is where the transformation happens. The place of discomfort is where we bump into the highest version of ourselves. The place of discomfort is a place where we create the vision that we've dreamt of. They understand that. Okay. Now, for me, on the other hand, when I started out as an entrepreneur, I was looking for comfort everywhere. Oh, I'm not going to do that because it's uncomfortable. I'm not going to do that because I've never done that before. I'm not going to do that because, of course, I'm an introvert. We don't do things like that. But the ultra successful live there. Okay? We were not comfortable going through medical school. We were not comfortable when they're saying present your first patient. We were not comfortable when they're like, do your first spinal tap. Who cared? Nobody. We embraced the discomfort, right? Because we wanted to become doctors, right? And it's with everything. Look in life, all the quantum leaps you've made have required discomfort. Okay. So if you come into entrepreneurship and the mindset is, I'm looking for the path of least resistance, I'm looking for where I can do everything comfortably, I can do things I'm comfortable with, it's going to be hard. It's going to be really hard. Okay. All right. So they live in discomfort. For instance, I'll give you some uncomfortable things. Okay. And if this resonates with you, just type ouch in the chat. And that's okay. It's good ouchie. It's like a vaccine. Good ouchie. Okay. So discomfort, for instance, asking, right? Ask the client to work with you. Ask the patient to come join your practice. Ask somebody to come join you on staff. Ask somebody to refer to you. And it's, oh no, Dr. Una, I liked you when you were talking about the beginner's mindset. Now you're just meddling. That's what you're doing, Dr. Una. You're meddling, right? But that it's uncomfortable, but the return on investment of ask, business is all about asking. And we're going to talk about this when we talk about the 7-figure sales system. It's all about asking. If you can live in the discomfort of it, you'll create magic, right? So for instance, Dr. Beckford just told me about this evening because they had their success groups in the EntreMD Business School. We were doing a challenge. That's the Ask-a-thon challenge. Ask that your job, ask, right? And someone's just, I did the challenge and I made this one ask, right? And the person was like, oh, yes, and paid for her package in full from one ask. There are people who have asked and got team members. There are people who have asked and got referral sources that blew their mind, got speaking gigs, got TED Talks, got all kinds of things from something as simple but uncomfortable as asking, right? So the discomfort, but the ultra successful understand they sit in the discomfort, right? Time to learn new skills, right? Oh, it's time to do a video. Oh, I don't do that. Now you do, right? I don't do that, right? But we know that if you're going to show up as a content creator, video is one of the things that grows your know and trust factor like few other things can. Right? And so rather than say, I don't do that, they say, how can I learn that? Let's practice. Let's practice that. How can I learn that? Type it in the chat. How can I learn that? So much better than the statement, I can't do that. How can I learn that? How can I learn that? How can I do that? How can I learn that? Right? That's what the ultra successful, that's you and I. That's what we do now, right? That's what we do. The ultra successful, like still under the discomfort, they understand the dream costs what it costs. So do I want the dream? Yes. So what does it cost? I'll pay. That's it. What does it cost? I'll pay. What does it cost? I'll pay. They sit in the discomfort of that. They sit in the discomfort of radical responsibility. Okay. I've worked with enough entrepreneurs, physician entrepreneurs, that a lot of times I can predict. Right? I can predict. When you see somebody who is whining and complaining and blaming, the reason why this didn't work is because this person didn't give me that. The reason why this is not working is the economy. The reason why this is not working is because that person didn't help me. The reason that you found somebody who is not taking responsibility, right? Radical responsibility is, okay, this is happening. How can I fix it? This is happening. This is not working. How can I make it work? Whose help do I need? Who can I reach out to? Person number 1 says no, they go to person number 2. Person number 2 says no, they go to person number 3. What do I need to learn? What do I need to do? Radical responsibility. I have had people come into the EntreMD Business School and they're like, Dr. Una, I will be your best student. Like, don't worry about it. I'm going to get the results. I'm going to get a return on my investment in the first 90 days. Oh, that person has told you, I believe in radical responsibility. I have taken radical responsibility. It's uncomfortable, right? Because everything is not your fault, but they take it. They live in the discomfort of it. Okay. Are you guys tracking? Are we doing good? Right? So we've decided I have a beginner's mindset. I build relationship with my dream. I'm not letting it go. And I'm going to settle in discomfort. I'm just going to sit there. I'm going to sit there. And I'll tell you what will happen. This happened to me in 2020. So at this point, I had been an entrepreneur for about 10 years. And in 2020, I was taking a walk and I was thinking, I was like, wow, this is strange. I'm comfortable everywhere. That's weird. I need to find a new project that will make me uncomfortable. And so it dawned on me that I had become comfortable being uncomfortable. So it's a muscle. If you practice it long enough, like the ultra successful, you just be comfortable there. Like it's uncomfortable, but you're like, yeah. Apparently, this is what the ultra successful do. Okay? All right. So that's number 3.
Well, now, how was that? Amazing, right? So this is the deal. Go take action on what you just learned. Go start adopting these mindset shifts. And don't forget to listen to the next episode where we'll talk of the rest of the mindsets. So you have all 7 of them, the 7 mindsets of the ultra successful. If you enjoy listening to the EntreMD podcast, you have to check out the EntreMD Business School. It's the #1 business school for physicians who want to build 6, 7, and multiple 7-figure businesses. You get the coaching, the accountability, and the community you need to do the work so you can thrive. To find out if this is your best next step, book a call with my team, entremd.com/call. That's entremd.com/call. I can't wait to celebrate all the wins we can create together.